Hello, middle school scholars, and welcome to your last music class of the week on Friday, April 24th. Let's go ahead and go over our checklist so that we can be on the same page. First thing you're going to do today is watch the instructional video. Good for you, you're already doing that. Then you're going to go ahead and check your grade and feedback on Melody Example in Google Classroom. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So when you go to your Google Classroom, you're going to look at your assignment that you turned in for Wednesday. When you click on that, you're going to go ahead and, you're going to hit View Assignment. And then you'll see a couple things. The first thing on the top here is you'll see what grade you got out of 10. So this example, I graded and gave this person, who is me on the example, a 9 out of 10. And then right here, you probably will see a comment from me about what you did well and what you can improve. So I said, great work. To get a 10 out of 10, add your own dynamics next time. So I forgot to add my own dynamics in this example. So I know next time that in order to get a 10 out of 10, that's what I have to do. So right now, I'd like you to go ahead and do that. Check your grades. So you're going to go into your Google Classroom. You're going to click on Wednesdays, and you're going to hit View Assignment. You will see a grade from me, and you will go ahead and you will see a comment if you turn that in. Please pause the video and check your grade for Wednesday's work. Go ahead. Awesome. Thank you for checking that. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. The next thing we're going to do today is we are going to answer the short answer question in Google Classroom. Now, this short answer question is very similar to the ones you've had the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make sure this is a excellent response with accurate punctuation, accurate spelling, accurate capitalization, also making sure we're using academic language. So let's go ahead and you're going to go back to our example class, or in your case, your Google Classroom. Click on this, and I'm going to go ahead and hit View Question. And I see the checklist for today, and then here's my question. Write 3 sentences explaining your tempo and dynamic composition choices. Now, these are going to be choices for my assignment, which I already was graded on. So I'm going to pull up my assignment for this week, which is our Melody assignment that you completed on Wednesday and which you just got a grade for. If you need to remember how to pull up this assignment, please go back and watch the video from Thursday or from Wednesday to figure that out. So the question asked me, explaining your tempo and dynamic composition choices. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this. And we're going to pause the video so that you're prepared. So if you remember on Wednesday, I chose a couple musical affect words. I chose that I wanted my composition to sound optimistic, and I also wanted it to sound jubilant. So I'm going to make sure that I use those 2 musical affect feeling words in my answer. So my first sentence is going to always outline what tempo and what dynamics you chose. So here's an example one. I wrote, and for my first sentence, in my composition, I chose an allegro tempo and a forte dynamic. That's my first sentence. So I'm actually going to go over here. I'm going to do that in my Google Classroom. And it says type my answer, so I'll type it right here. So I said, in my composition, I chose an allegro tempo and a forte dynamic. And I'm going to look over here and see that's correct. Yep, 150 is allegro. I chose this forte tempo. I also did some sforzando, so I'm going to add that in with sforzando. I think that's how you spell it. Okay. So my first sentence is outlining what I chose. I talked about my allegro tempo, my forte dynamic, and I made sure I had a capital letter at the beginning and a period at the end. What I'd like you to do, please, is pause this video and write your first sentence in your Google Classroom. Please start your first sentence this way. In my composition, I chose. Make sure you talk about your tempo and your dynamic. Pause the video, write your first sentence, and then come back when you're done. Thank you. The purpose of our next sentence is to explain the affect or mood of your tempo. And remember, we're looking for these words, these feeling words, which are going to be in your PowerPoint that's attached to this. So I wanted to have that optimistic feeling, which is why I chose an allegro tempo. So for my second sentence, I'm going to say the allegro tempo makes the composition feel optimistic. Again, I talked about the tempo with that academic language, and I chose a musical affect word for optimistic. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to my Google Classroom, and I'm now going to type my second sentence with a capital letter. The allegro tempo, I'll make sure I get this exactly right, makes the composition feel optimistic. Great. I had a period at the end and a capital letter right here. So that is my second sentence. So please go ahead and you're going to write your second sentence. Make sure you start your second sentence by saying the blank tempo makes the composition, and then go from there. Pause the video. Please write your second sentence. Go ahead. Great work. Now, our third and final sentence is going to explain the affect or mood of your dynamic. Now, when I go back, I noticed that I chose that forte dynamic with a sforzando. And if I remember right, my word that I chose on Wednesday for my dynamic was jubilant. I wanted it to feel jubilant. So I chose the forte dynamic to add to the jubilant feeling of the music. So I'm going to go ahead and write that now in mine. And I'll say, maybe not exactly that, but I will say something along the lines of, I chose a forte dynamic to add to the jubilant feeling of the song. Great. Again, capital letter and period. When I have all this, I'm going to double check for my spelling. Now you can see right here, this is not spelled right, mostly because Google Classroom does not know how to spell sforzando because it's an Italian musical word. So I'm not worried about that. But if I have any other words that are underlined in red, I know it's spelled incorrectly. So I'm going to go ahead and double check that. I have my capital letters and my period at the end, and I have 3 sentences explaining my tempo and dynamics. So I'm going to hit turn in. So now it's going to go ahead and it's going to be your turn. So remember, for your third sentence, you're wanting to explain the affect of your dynamic. So please go ahead and start your third sentence by saying, I chose the blank dynamic to, and then you can finish that as well. Pause this video. Please complete all 3 sentences and then hit turn in and unpause when you're done. Thank you. Now, if you need some extra resources, actually, you know what? I have the slide here, which will help us out as well. So before you turn in, just make sure you do this little check. Here is my complete one. And I said this, in my composition, I chose an allegro tempo and a forte dynamic. The allegro tempo makes the composition feel optimistic. I chose the forte dynamic to add to the jubilant feel of the music. So again, I've underlined and bolded this academic language I'm using. I make sure I've got capital letters and periods. And I can think to myself, did I have accurate spelling? I sure did. Did I use academic language? I did. And did I have at least 3 sentences? Check, check, check. So when I can check all those 3, I can turn in, hopefully like you just already did. If you already turned yours in and you're looking like, oh, shoot, I missed one of these, you can go back and change it. So please do that. So let's go back to our checklist. So you are watching the video, you checked your grade. Hopefully you just answered that short answer question. And again, here is my phone number. If something is confusing for you today, please just don't give up. Please ask for help because I want to help you complete it. And there's my phone number right here. As always, inside this PowerPoint, you have a lot of resources. You have your tempo markings with your beats per minute. You have your dynamics, and most importantly for this week, you have your musical affect feeling words. Please lean on this to make sure you have an awesome, academically excellent answer today. I'll go ahead and skip ahead one more time. Again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and text this number in yellow, and I would love to help you. Looking forward to seeing your answers today and giving you a grade this weekend. Have an awesome weekend.